So I've been thinking, and I'm trying to, as I'm talking, kind of figure out how I want to say it. I've been thinking about why people happen to always go back to their exes. I have a friend. His name is I can't even use his name. All right, let's say guy A happens to like girl A, and girl A is horrible. Like just kind of listening to some of his stories, it's kind of like why would you go back? Why would you want that? But like left and right is like, I love her, and it's like you don't, you don't, and it's like why doesn't he? Why does he believe that he does, but he really doesn't? Or at the very least, he shouldn't. And I think it's because of the idea of desperation. And I'm saying all this. Please keep this in mind. I'm saying all this, knowing I am in that category, knowing that there is a certain level of me that will not be able to let go of Jasmine, regardless of how romantic I make it sound. Like, oh, the woman who I chose beyond all else, the mother of my child, X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. It's still the idea that I honestly don't think that I'm not the kind of guy that like girls just kind of fall over. I'm not the my Facebook is not blowing up with girls just like throwing their digital paintings at me. And maybe it's the same way for my one. Actually, shit, I got a call last night from a guy who's kind of like, he wants this particular girl, and something happened, and he's kind of like, well, I don't want to lose her, and in the front of my mind, I'm thinking, well, plenty of fish in the sea. If this one gets away, I'm sure there's someone that's possibly not exactly like her, but close enough that you don't have to worry about this little hiccup. But in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I understand your struggle and I understand your pain that you want this particular person. The reason I believe now that I have this kind of euphoric, like insight, epiphany, that was the word I was looking for. The reason most of us, not most of us, some of us do happen to go back to our exes, I think, is because they accepted us at one point, They were able to look at what we have, flaws and all. They were able to go, well, this person's fucked up, this person's messed up. Sorry, I think I'm coming down with a cold. This person's fucked up, messed up, what have you. And we're able to accept them, at least for now. Freaking change of weather. We're able to accept them now for who they are. And then, obviously, common sense kicks in. So either they realize or we realize that, oh, this isn't going to work, and we move on. But in the same space, in the same mental capacity, these are people who accepted us at one time. If they're willing to come back, then it's kind of like, well, yeah, sure. Not only is it less work, you already know the backstory. We don't have to go through season 1 to 7. You know why I am mostly why I am, and maybe this time you'll make the effort. Maybe this time I'll make the effort. Maybe this time the effort will be made by both of us to such a degree that things might actually work out. It really rarely ever does. They rarely ever go, oh yeah, this is how I fucked up, and this is what I plan to do better, Most of the time, and I'm not like my dad. I'm not gonna be like, oh, they just want a little slap and tickle, and I hate that expression. No, it's just the idea of in a world where you can be in a room full of people and still feel alone. Sometimes it feels good to know that somebody still wants you, knowing all your fucked up flaws, knowing X, Y, and Z about you, that they're still like, this person's still worth saving, worth spending time with, worth making the effort for whatever. And I have to admit, sometimes Sometimes, and yeah, sometimes I'm weak enough to say, I'm strong enough to say that I've been weak and been like, you know what, this ex, now that not only just Jasmine, but it's kind of like, well, maybe someone before Jasmine, and maybe someone after Jasmine, or what have you. But my brother he found me a quote. I'm going to read it to you, okay? Just in case you need to be reminded, don't check up on your ex-partners. Don't check up on your ex-friends. Don't do it. It's not productive. You're better than that. So I think about that, and it's kind of like, you're right. I shouldn't check up on ex-partners, and I try really hard not to. Even when they pop up, I have an actual, like, what do you guys call it? Not a gift, like, an image that's been, meme. That was what I was looking for. It's a meme, and it's a face of a Caucasian male looking very distinguished and, like, you know, and it's like, not today, Satan, not today. And every time somebody from my past is like messes up, like, hey, how you doing? I kind of just threw that in their general direction, and it's like, okay, as long as you know, not today. I got things to do. I got, you know, errands to run. I got things to set up, and, you know, something to build. I got something to do that isn't productive as going backwards, because, and this is another quote from a friend of mine, a cigarette is never as good relit. It would never be as good as the first, never. Especially the same cigarette. It's like, oh, I snuffed this out, light it up again. It's like, it's definitely not as good. You'll still smoke it because it's kind of like, well, mathematically, this is going to cost me X amount of dollars or X amount of cents. I might as well, you know, finish it up. Some people just don't. Some people are smarter than that and don't ever go back to what was, because no matter how many times you say, I could fix it, it can never be back to where it was. And that's if it was good. Heck, if it was bad from the get-go. If you're like, man, I was rarely ever happy, you're not going to suddenly find that happiness. Because 9 out of 10, if you were thinking, I really wasn't that happy, that is either because you chose not to be happy or the other person didn't make you happy. So going back into a relationship, yeah, you can kind of change your mindset and perspective, but it's still always going to be there, because the past is always there. You can't forget the past. You can get over it. You can accept it, but you can never really kind of go, oh, it never happened. Let's just start clean slate fresh. You can't, because who you are as a person and who they are as a person, even if you forget the past, it will always be that. You'll always be this, and there will always be that. Even if you change to a certain degree to be better and or worse, you would have to kind of change who you are completely as a person to do better and or worse. Because even doing better, if you go, oh, maybe I should be more considerate and ask you more about, you know, X, Y, and Z, or this, that, and the third, they might not like that. Because the combination of everything that you are plus that, it doesn't work. So what I'm saying is, I'm saying all that to say this. When you're faced with with a dilemma, I love this person, and in reality, keep in mind, in the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking to yourself, this is the only person I feel will be able to fit me perfectly. Understand that should never be the case. The person who should fit you perfectly should be you. You should always look at yourself and kind of go, what do I want? What am I willing to accept and reject? You know? And if this person, if I'm going through a list of things that, like, yeah, but it's her, or yeah, but it's him, it's not gonna work, because you're making excuses at that point, and that's why. And this is hard. Understand, I'm saying this knowing how hard that is, but the right thing to do for you, the person who I'm talking to, you, the right thing for you to do is to work on you. And that sounds cheesy as fuck, but think about it. If you don't love you, how are you gonna ever expect anybody else to? And now you're probably gonna think like, well, I don't hate myself. Well, if you gotta say shit like that, then you're not on the right path. You gotta be okay with the guy or girl you see in the mirror, and say, look, I'm sorry, but today we're gonna try to do better than what we did yesterday. And we're gonna make up for all the fuck ups. We're gonna make up for all the mistakes. But that starts with us. You, me. Not you, me, not you, euphorical YouTube viewer, but mirror me. The me that I see in the mirror. I have to look at myself and say, we fucked up at some point. Small or big. Today we're going to fix that by doing better. Not by going back to the past and going, hey, I'm sorry, let me see what I can... No. From this moment forward, what are we going to do to make up for that? How are we going to make ourselves better to make sure that doesn't happen again? My friend, I tell you this. My friends, I tell you this. Work on you. Because that person who wants to be with you is going to see that and be like, I'm going to make that effort. Something I've been preaching since the beginning. I'm going to make that effort to be with you. And make it work. And you're not going to be with somebody who's going to be like, oh, the chase is worth it. Well, I'm base it on faith. Put the effort in on you. And somebody's going to come along to complement that. To supplement that. But you are not half a person. You're good all you are. I'm saying that wrong. You're good all... You're good. You don't need somebody else to make you better. Remember that. You're just good. Believe that. And the right person who sees that will come and be like, I want to be part of that. I don't want to slow that down. I don't want to speed that up. I want to be a part of it. I want to be part of that unit. I want to be part of that partnership. That love thing. Earlier I was talking to Sue about this, and she was like, well, you know, your dad got that tattoo on his arm. Love is not blind, it's retarded. And to a point, yeah, he's right. But all humans love. All humans are retarded. So you gotta think to yourself, I want to love. Is a human thing. Loving is human. How do I do that better? Remember that better idea. How do I do that better? And who knows, maybe you're 90 and you're still retarded. Falling and tripping over the same person who's more than willing to let you go and pick you up and let you go and pick you up. And if that's what you want, then that's what you get. But if you want more, you have to ask yourself. You ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get that more? People say that, oh, I'll do anything for the people I love. You should love you. Do whatever it is for you. I'm not saying be selfish. I'm saying better yourself. When you wake up, don't be like, I got nothing to do in this small ass town. I'm so bored. Find something to do. Because that's how winning is done. So if you know what you're worth, you gotta get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to make that effort. Willing to take the hit. Willing to do better. So, wrapping all that up. Stop chasing exes. Be good. The exes will try to come after you. Then you have to realize, is this ex going to make me better? That's what this is about. Making you better. Have a good night, everybody.